Alright, what's up, guys? So, top of the morning, today is May 1st, 2020, and I looked at some of this stuff last night. Came across my feed, how the climate activist Greta Thunberg launches a campaign to fight the coronavirus, right? So, the news broke yesterday, well, the day before. I apologize, Wednesday, today's Friday. I did look at this yesterday. But what I found interesting was a few things. So, using dates on the calendar, right? Dates on the calendar and this code of letters and numbers. So, okay, so that's the Eminem decode. Something about a home intruder. I'm going to get to that. I'm just trying to think what the best thing to do right now is. I guess I'll just redo it. Alright. So, what I teach here on this channel is the practice of Gematria, which is coding numbers into letters, into phrases, into words. So, A is 1, B is 2, Z is 26. Then you got this blue cipher, which is the same thing, but with the rules of numerology. So, numerology is basically taking a double-digit number, reducing it to a single-digit number. So, where that happens, if you look at the chart, J is usually the 10th letter. So, the numerology of 10 is 1 plus 0 is 1, right? So, 1, K is 11, 1 plus 1 is 2. 12. 12 becomes 3. 13 becomes 4, and so forth. So that's the first half of the code here. The other half, for our alphabet at least, is the reverse, which is, the flip-flop of the alphabetic order. Z is 1 all the way to A is 26. And then you got the same thing, the rules of numerology. So with that being said, these are the 4 base ciphers of our alphabet, and this whole idea of coding letters into words and phrases to get a numerical value. And with that being said, there are other ciphers. So according to this site created by Derek, the guy who programmed this website, if you click through all the stuff, these are like, some ciphers are, these ciphers don't have any value. You'd have to basically type the word in. Nope, I'm sorry. This is the wrong cipher. It's this cipher. Mathematical's different. The foreign cipher, you would have to see how the 4 base ciphers, it gives you something. You'd have to write everything in Hebrew or something for it to translate. So you'd have to take like the Hebrew translation to get the numeric value. So generally people stay away from the foreign. But you can select, all these ciphers and see what you come up with. I try to stay clear of all that. There are times where I do use certain ciphers, like besides the 4 base ciphers. Typically, I come in here and I look, and I usually like the single reduction, English extended's sometimes interesting. The satanic cipher, which I steer clear of a lot, but it seems like there's a lot to it. And then you got the Jewish Latin ciphers, which is the same thing. It's like, the Latin alphabet. And then you got, Jewish ordinal, which is like our alphabet. It's the same thing. There's 27 letters in the Latin Jewish cipher. So, where more modern characters are placed at the end, we don't have on in our alphabet. And it's debated that even if on should be a value. And if that's the case, W, if this doesn't have a value, W would, in theory equal 26. So if this didn't have a value, W wouldn't be 27. W would be 26. But, because as you can see here, right, on, see, on only registers in the Jewish and Latin ciphers. So, there's no on in our cipher, our alphabet. So explaining all that, we can look at this short article about Greta Thunberg. It's really short. It's super short, actually. It's literally a few sentences. So what I want to look at is a few things. All right, so let's take the headline, right? We'll copy it. You can see the story broke on April 29th. So April 29th, all right. Today's May 1st. I seen the story yesterday, the 30th, May 1st. See, this is interesting. 46. All right, I'm going to explain all this. So, just to kind of, just start off, we got virus, which equals 46, right? 46. So, obviously this story is going to be in the news today, May 1st. And look, you also got 26 standard numerology. 5 plus 1 plus 20 is 26. 26, virus, right? Doesn't matter if you, I have my cap locks on. But look, virus, 26. The only way that changes when it's all capitals is if you use the Frank Baconis ciphers. So like Frank Baconis is like the capital letters and stuff, which I don't really use, but there's interesting stuff. 89 is the 11th fib, 24. There is interesting things with that. So, all right. So, let's see. I'm going to unclick that and that because I already got enough up on the screen. We'll close these. I typically don't use that regular, but I'll keep it open just to see. A lot of people don't like it because they consider it overcoding when you select more than 4, or a lot of people argue. This is the argument with Gematria. It's like, oh, you can make anything fit with any cipher. And I guess, I do understand that argument. It's just, you decide after watching a video like this. So, all right, let's get into this because I've rambled on long enough. So we're going to start with the Greta Thunberg. Oh no, coronavirus! Oh, no, sir. So we're going to start out with Greta Thunberg. So April 29th. Now check this out. Selecting the headline, right? Greta Thunberg launches the campaign. And just using the simple code of letters and numbers. Now check this out, right? Watch this. 227. That's pretty cool. Huh, 227. Huh. Which is the 49th prime number. I know that well. Pi. All right. There's some stuff that I seen. I think it's hold on. Oops, I clicked right out of the calculator. Wow. All right, let's reopen this. Okay. Gotta be careful not to click out of that. So think, I mean, maybe not, maybe it's not this. I don't know. You know what it is? Sometimes when you change the wording, obviously you get different values when you change the wording. So Greta Thunberg launches campaign to fight coronavirus. Let's just take out this. Greta, how about Greta Thunberg's campaign to fight coronavirus? So see, now we got some interesting stuff just using the 4 base ciphers. 199 is the 46th prime. And again, you know, 199 is the 46th prime. Well, that's interesting, right? Because we're talking about virus. 46, 26. Today, May 1st, has a 26 date numerology. So it makes sense for it to be in the news today, too. Alright, so that's that. That is that. Now let's look, right? She's, you know, running a campaign to fight a pandemic. Now check this out. There's so much going on here. Alright, so pandemic is 65 and 38. Now 151 is important because it's the 36th prime number. 36, huh? 36. Well, when you spell out COVID-19 with letters and numbers, you get 36 and 38. Right? 36, 38, 38, 151 is the 36th prime, so there's a prime number relationship here. But more importantly, pandemic is 65. And, you know, look at this young lady's name. Look at what it equates to. Greta Thunberg. Now, as we often document, we don't really know if these people are aware that this is happening to them. But look, Greta Thunberg, 65, like pandemic. Now, what else is interesting is the 70. And why is that interesting? Well, that's interesting because this is why we think they're writing the news around these people. So we got a reflection, 65, 56, coronavirus 56. She's launching a campaign to fight the coronavirus. Okay. And then you got the 70. So Greta Thunberg and coronavirus have the same overlaps in reverse forward reduction, and that's basically the alphabet backwards with the rules of numerology. So it's not really hard to see that. What else I found interesting was this. When you type out a campaign to combat coronavirus. Now I did change up the language here. She says, you know, a campaign to fight the coronavirus, but I just play around a little bit. And I guess that's where people get a little twisted, like, oh, you make it fit whatever way you want. But it's the point. The point is it. I do get that, but at the same time, you know, fighting, combating, it's pretty much just it's the same word. Well, it means the same thing, kind of, right? Anyways, the point is you got the 308 that looks like 38. Where have we seen 38? Pandemic 38. COVID-19 38. And this is just the 4 base ciphers. This isn't anything super special. So we got the 38, the 308. Remember 308 though. Let's see. 308. I think this is it. My notes say this is it. This should equate to 308 as well. This Thunberg said in a statement that, quote, like the climate crisis, the coronavirus pandemic is a child rights crisis. If I'm not mistaken, this whole sentence equates to 308. Ah, it does. In full reduction, which is the alphabet forwards of the rules of numerology. So just taking that right from the story, we got another 308, right? Interesting, right? Pandemic, 38. It's also interesting that the story was written on the 29th, and yesterday had a 38 date numerology, 36. Huh. That is interesting. So we got the 308s. We got the 308s. And the last thing I wanted to kind of touch on with this is everyone knows her as an activist. So, activist, let's see. Let's see. Well, check this out, right? The news broke supposedly the 29th. I seen it the 30th. I'm reporting on it today, which is the 1st. I should have did it last night because this would make a lot more sense. But look, 30, right? Plus 29 is what? 59. 30, 40, 50 plus 9 is 59. 59, huh? 59 activist. Now, what's also interesting is 59 is the 17th prime number. 17, huh? Well, the news broke on a date numerology, standard date numerology of 17. 4 plus 2 plus 9 plus 2 plus 0 is 17. How lovely, right? How lovely. And again, I seen the news yesterday, the 30th. 113 is the 30th prime number. So that's pretty interesting. And to kind of top it off, I just noticed this now. 103 is the 27th prime number. All right. So I seen the news, like again, yesterday, the April 30th, had a standard or primary date numerology of, well, it's not primary, I guess. It's the second half, but I think this upper half is primary or standard. I'm not sure. But anyways, yesterday had a 27 date numerology. So 4 plus 3 plus 0 plus 20, 27. So there's that part. Now, again, you could open up other ciphers and see, if other things matter. And sometimes there is other connections that are to be made. Primes, triagonal, squares. These are pretty important because basically primes and trigonal and squares. The reason why I say that's important is because, for instance, like look at something like this. You got the number 1. See, you got primes, trigonals, and then they should have Fibonacci in there. I mean, they are Fibonacci numbers, but they should have like a I guess like a Fibonacci cipher. So you got the primes, the triangulars, and then you got the squares, square roots. So that's basically what that is. Square root. See how 121 was the 11th? Had a square root of 11. K is the 11th letter. See? See what's going on there? L is the 12th letter, 144, 12, So there's that. There is that part. And then, I mean, you can click through this stuff. I usually try to look for prime number relationships. So, see, this is interesting. 383 is the 76th prime. A reflection of 76 is 67. And, this whole thing is dubbed the Wuhan coronavirus. So I found that pretty interesting. Huh. Interesting. But sometimes you find really cool things like that, like 202, 1231 is the 202nd prime number. I don't think there's any 22 date numerologies. There might be. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Huh. Interesting. It's also interesting how the whole 1 or 113 is the 30th prime, and The news broke on the 29th. I'm reporting on it today. You could, this is probably a coincidence. 20 plus 1 is 30. That's probably coincidental, but show you what's not. Show you what's not. She's a Swedish girl? Huh. Swedish, 33. Now look, April 29th had a standard date numerology. 4 plus 29 is 33. And the list goes on, It goes on. Huh. 59 again. 277 is the 59th prime. 59 is the 17th prime. So we've seen the 59 and the 17, right? 17. And as far as the 59 goes, like I said, 29 plus 30 is 59. But that could be a coincidence. I don't know. But, sure doesn't feel like a coincidence, that's for sure. She urged people everywhere to step up and join me in support of UNICEF. Vital work to save. All right, let's see if there's anything to that. It's a short article, but again, let's see. Swedish. Oops, if I could spell. Twist. 90, 91, 64. Huh. 64, 46, Huh. Well, I don't see nothing there. Huh. 1233. 549. Huh. 35th prime. 35 date numerology. You don't have to count zeros in numerology, so that's why I did that. They probably, they probably wrote the story a day before, which would have the 54 date numerology, and I also seen it yesterday with 54 date numerology. So 504 can look like 54, 45 is a reflection. It all depends on your perception of this stuff. So that does it for Greta Thunberg. But there's more. There's probably so much more to it too. But it's just meeting of the Environment Council, the European. I don't know. We'll see. We'll just do a quick little thing here. Just see if there's anything to it. Probably is. Let's see. 515, 247. Nope. Nothing there. Huh. $351, huh? Huh. Well, it makes sense. Like, okay. So 351 is the 26 triangular number. So when you add numbers 1 through 26 together, you get a value of 351. So 351 and 26 do have a mathematical relationship. It's the 26 triangular number. And what have I been rambling and bambling about? Virus is 26. Sometimes that's all you really need is just one connection. And again, these are actually like important ciphers, the stuff I have on the screen. They're not like, no one's twisting no words or none of that. But I'll get back to the whole 26 thing. Because disease, plague, all that stuff, is 26. Now we could take away stuff too, and it'll obviously have different values. We've seen 227 in the beginning. 227 was the name of the article before I, took out launches and put an S on Thunberg's. So there's that, which is pretty interesting. Huh. Sometimes this stuff actually is important. I don't want to overcode this whole thing, but didn't we see 98 and 91? Pretty sure we did. There's 98 right there. Swedish activist. So in the same cipher, Swedish activist and environment council is 98. That's pretty interesting. And the 91 is right here. Swedish activist 91. Environmental council 91. All right. 706 looks like 67. Wuhan 67. Wuhan. That's tough. So going back to the 26th though, disease 26, right, and 46. Unreal. You got the plague 26. Unreal. There's a lot to it. The plague. Let's just see. I didn't look at this yet. I may have though. And 167, huh? 39th prime. 39, 93. The sun 93 million miles away. Corona equals crown in Spanish. The crown of the sun, the corona of the sun. I mean, it ain't that far of a stretch. Some people say it's reaching, but I don't agree. That's just me though. Everybody's different. Everybody is entitled to their own opinions. But how 263 is the 56th prime number? Okay. Climate activist Greta Thunberg. So in trigonal, which is, triangular numbers, like I was explaining, when you add certain numbers together, like when you add 1 through 36 together, you get 666. So and that's why the satanic cipher starts out with, A is 36. So, but what's important about this right here is the whole 263. You don't count zeros in numerology. 263 can look like, 2,630 can look like 263, which is the 56th prime number. And not to get too distracted here, what equals 56? Corona virus. To go along with their mind control, 56. What happened last month? The toilet paper crisis, right? And then they got everybody all fucked up and told everyone to go get their what? Rubber gloves, 56 and 70. Huh? Coronavirus, 56 and 70. The new thing is the breathing mask. Right? 56. Well, it's not a new thing, but the new thing is, these food places supposedly are shutting down. Food shortages 56 in 70. Huh. I never really looked at it with all these other ciphers, but it is interesting to be honest. Like all this stuff probably has a lot of meaning. 43 is the 14th prime, and then there's all these online stuff. Some people call this conspiracy theories. They call Gematria a conspiracy theory. I don't think it is. Because why is all the shit matching up? That's the thing. Someone's behind it. Where um someone is behind it. If I could spell 65, power outage 65, like pandemic. Huh. Someone's definitely behind it. That's the point. Whether it's an AI supercomputer matching it all up or something is generating our news. And you know what? People are under the spell and they just can't break it. They love their news. So there's that. There's that part. I guess moving on to Eminem now. Some guy, broke into his home. You know, uh, get rid of that. The date calculator. This is when Eminem was born, October 17th. So, measuring from his last birthday last year, and he hasn't turned, you know, 47 or 48. I don't know how old he is. He's like 47 or 48. So, we did the Greta Thunberg thing. Refresh this shit. Get rid of that shit on the screen. But look at this, right? So, he goes by Eminem, right? Huh, we talking about 59. That's funny. It's like all these stories are like interconnected, man. 32, 31, 107 is the 27th prime. Well, look at this. His upcoming birthday, October 17, 2020, 31. 31. It's funny because 31 is also the 11th prime number. Yesterday when I seen it, because it was published the 30th. So that's why this is open. The 30th has the 11 primary date numerology. It also has the 27. 103 is the 27th prime. His upcoming birthday has the 27. So again, 103 is the 27th prime number. Right? I mean, there's so much to it. You can so much to it. And these are just the 4 base ciphers. You really don't need a whole mess. 112 and 113. 113 is the 30th prime. That's interesting. News on the 30th? Think about it. Think about it. 30. The news broke on the 30th. 30 plus 17 is 47. This is his upcoming birthday, though. So, there's that part. From his last birthday. Huh. 613. 66. 62nd prime. 62nd prime. Well, there's nothing here. But again, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if they're writing these stories the day before and stuff. Let's see. I can get rid of this. Confronts the home invader. Suspect arrested. Let's see. But TMZ is infamous for coding this stuff in. Let's see. Confronts home intruder. Huh. Of course, 66. Of course. Eminem was born October 17th. You know, so his last year's birthday, 2019, 66. It just so happens that, you know, home intruder 66. Boy. His upcoming birthday has the 47 date numerology. 47 is the 15th prime number. 47. So 150 can look like 15. 47 is the 15th prime. Home intruder, huh? It was published at 9:28 a.m. on April 30th. 33:59. Again, that 59. Eminem 59. Huh. Wouldn't even be surprised if they wrote it yesterday. The 33. Huh. 33. Huh. It's just interesting to see all this stuff. I think. Huh. 19. 19 date numerology. 928. I mean, it could be a little bit of a reach, but what are the odds? That's really the point of all this. Is like, what are the odds that we just pick, you know, this stuff out, right? And it's funny because, like, right? All right. So what's funny is what is funny is I believe the guy's name is 66. If I'm right, I think. I don't know. Hold on. I think I seen this last night. So Corona 66, right? 33. We seen the 33. Now look at the picture. He's got his little mask on, his coronavirus mask, right? Matthew David Hughes. Let's just look. 26-year-old. Let's just copy it like this. See what we can find. 405, 45. Huh. 45. Nothing there. 45 is a reflection of 54, though, which could be a little bit of a, I don't know. I'm not going to worry about that. Huh. 81 has a square root of 9. That's pretty interesting. Standard numerology of 9. 4 plus 3 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0 is 9. They had to give, you know, the 121. Again, you know, coronavirus outbreak, 121. Day of the year, 100, because it's a leap year. It's the 121st day of the year. You know. Again. But this is how they do it. So you got the 121, right? 121, and that's important because look, he's wearing his mask. They made sure that they took a a mug shot of this guy with his mask on. I guess. I mean, I guess it's not that far fetched, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. It just looks a little distasteful. It doesn't really look real to me, at least. So, but of course, Matthew Hughes equals 59, like Eminem, right? Huh. So it wasn't his name that equaled 66. But look, 36, like COVID-19 is 36. You've seen the 27, right? 103, Eminem, 103, Matthew, 27. Why is that important? Because 103 is the 27th prime number. So I'm pretty convinced that, these people are writing the news using numerology and the Gematria. So it's not really, look, Hughes is 32, Eminem is 32. Burn. I mean, like I said, you don't need all those other ciphers open to see what's going on here. 68, just like it didn't type in down here. Well, 68 is important because look, man. Wuhan. 68, 22, 23. Reflection numbers. 68, 68. And there's a lot more to it, too. There is a lot more to it. 78 and 93. 78. Well, there's nothing there. I mean, there is stuff there. It's not as interesting. Matthew David Hughes. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. Is he in on it? 43, huh? 43 is interesting because look, pandemic is 43. Unreal. And he got his mask on. Well, we've seen 44, right? The 44th prime number. I think it's what, 193? Is it 193? Okay, so 193 is the 44th prime number. Right here, I think. Matthew Hughes, 193, the 44th prime number. So look, just so you guys can see it, so you don't have to, I guess I could zoom in on the thing, right? But look, mask, which he clearly has in the picture, right? 44. Okay. 44. And 193, his name, without his middle name, is the 44th prime number. Unbelievable. Like, who does this all day long? Who matches it like this? I mean, I do it because I'm not lying to the people. I'm not the news media, so. And I get a kick out of exposing these pieces of shit. But look at this. Dude. 26-year-old is 43. That's crazy, man. Pandemic is 43. I don't know. 43, huh? Which is the 14th prime number. I don't think. Alright. No, that's not. Alright. But sometimes I like to measure from his birthday to when the story was written. I don't think 613 is anything either. But you know what is interesting? When you include the end date, you get an extra day. So 197, right? Right, 197 is the 46th prime. 197, right? And this whole, oh, actually, I'm sorry, I apologize. It's the 45th prime. Oh, didn't we see 45 somewhere? 26-year-old, 45. So, there's that. I mean, there's so much to it, but again, you know, there's not much else to really say. 44, you know? Matthew Hughes equals 44. Well, it equals 193, which is the 44th prime number. So that right there. 107 is the 28th prime number. I don't know if there's any 28s in the numerology. Well, his last birthday had 28, and you know, that's about it. It's the only thing I can really see there. With these just 4 base ciphers open, 53 is the 16th prime. 16th prime, huh? Who knows? They might have written the story a few days in advance, but I don't know. I don't really go on this. But sometimes, because there's the 32, the 54, you know, the 36. We've seen all those numbers, you know, so they're in here. Pretty sure they're in there. So, you know, 32. I mean, you know, you can fit it. I guess that's like what makes people skeptical of this. Is like, oh, well, you can fit the numbers and fudge the numbers, but at the end of the day, you know, 197 is the 45th prime number, and you know, those are mathematical relationships that you can't fudge. Reflection. I don't think any of this is being fudged right here, what I'm doing. I think this is being written with this and this. That's my honest belief. I don't see how it couldn't be. And I don't see how people come along. Like, I don't really get a lot of flack from people because I sit here and I take the time to actually explain my thoughts correctly. If people have the time to listen, I'll explain, you know, what I'm thinking the best way I can. And, you know, it's all up to people who have, you gotta have a certain perception with this stuff, number one. You can't just, like, you know, think you're gonna come along and disprove somebody by watching 5 minutes of their video. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta sit here and do, like, what I did. Like, I watched, you know, 1 or 2 videos. I got a little, you know, skeptical. And I said, fuck it, I ain't got anything else to do. Let me check it out. And sure enough, this calculator popped up online, and it makes it 10 times easier because before this, you know, people were, you know, writing it out on, you know, whiteboards and, you know, any big Gematria channels, you know, Gematria Effect and all these other channels. Well, Gematria Effect is the one who taught me, and Derek, the guy who created the calculator. So definitely go get that guy's book, Zach Hubbard's book, for sure. Letters and numbers. But see, this is interesting because it's like, where did I see 78? There it is. Wuhan coronavirus, 78. 26 years old, 78. And the reason why I keep bringing up the virus is because he got this fucking mask on, dude. All right, look at the next number, 93. So they tell us the sun's 93 million miles away. And again, the whole thing, if you look it up on Google, you know, what's the Spanish word for corona? We'll look it up right now. Let's see. Spanish word for crown. It says right there. Spanish word for crown, corona. Let's see.
Corona.
Let the nice lady say it.
Corona.
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 Corona. So anyways, that's that. And then this whole thing with Event 201, you know? Event 201, the global pandemic exercise. Event 201, the simulation. The pandemic simulation that happened last year by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and Johns Hopkins University and the World Economic Forum. Like, if you've been following this work, you know about 201. But I just find it funny. You know, he's 26 years old. 26 years old equals 201. Event 201. You know, a germ simulation. This guy got his mask on. Yup. That's what it is. So that's that. I'm going to leave that here because, I just did 2 decodes. I don't want to make the video too long. I'll come back and do another one on something different. I'm going to look at some stuff, and if I find something interesting, I'll post it. But thank you guys for watching, and feel free to like, share, and subscribe the channel. Wake people up. Let them know what the deal is. Tell them to stop watching the news. All right. Until next time, guys.